what do these four people have in common? And it's, those of you who don't know, that's Dick Costello. He's CEO of Twitter, and Al Franken, and then very flattering picture of Dave and myself. As we were having a conversation a few weeks ago, Dave said, well, you know, I've done some improvisational theater. And I thought, well, that's very interesting because so has Dick Costello and so has Al Franken and so have I. And I've used it a number of different times to develop content for the. Can everybody see back there? Is there enough room? Go ahead and open those, let those people come back in. There's a lot of improvisation in here to enjoy. Come on, right on in. Right on in, don't be afraid. All right. And so improvisational theater games and techniques have been part and parcel of the way that I've developed creativity and content over the years. But in fact, as I began to investigate, there were a lot more of this. In fact, today I believe there's another presentation somewhere that Nissan is doing about them contacting and using Second City for a thing, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I wanted to share with you the sort of the impact that kind of creativity has on creative development. So, developing content online. Boxlot.com was a competitor to eBay, and at the time ranked second to eBay because of their unique positioning, and which was they had the most interesting stuff, the weirdest, strangest things got onto this auction site. And so, as part of that, they did a national campaign, and it was utilizing radio because that was a media that drove people online. But we needed creative breakthrough because it's so busy and so crowded and very difficult to get radio commercial messages out. So in development of the creative process, we're sitting around with writers and doing a game that's part of an improvisation game I'll share with you, which was called Sound Effects. And so we were trying to make the different sound effects of the most unique things that we could think of in the site that people would want to see. And so one of the writers has just blurted out.
I don't know why, but I've always wanted one. Maybe because it's the kind of thing a rich guy would own. Anyway, I'm on there one day and I see one, so I bid on it. I gotta say, it's pretty cool. Owning your own tennis ball machine. It's just a drag that I live in an apartment.
Buy it, sell it, trade it on Boxlot. BOXLOT. Boxlot.com.
So the creative process is impacted dramatically by the use of the improvisational theater games. Another example I wanted to share with you was ebonite bowling balls. So ebonite, anybody know the average age of a bowler in the United States? Take a guess?
42.
42, 50? High 60s, 67, 68. And so bowling, desperate to make an impression and become relevant for a younger generation, decided that they needed to have a different take. And so the improvisational comedian was brought in and asked to riff on the idea and the theme that they are ruining bowling because they're engineering the balls too well. And so, as a result, created a series of YouTube videos that were, let's see if I can get this to play. Well,
Dale Jenkins here. Tricky Dick Nixon, ebonite bowling balls. See the connection? See where I'm going? Hear me out. Tricky Dick created a bowling alley in the White House. Who paid for it? Taxpayers. Some call him an innovator. Some call him cheater. Ebonite bowling balls. Technological designs. Make your scores a little bit better. Innovator? No. Cheater. Ebonite is ruining bowling.
So an entire series of these on YouTube. He's in the bowling alley complaining, he's yelling at other bowlers, and they even took this a couple steps farther by actually having the character host to bowling.com, the discussion boards with the professionals, having arguments with the guys on ABC and ESPN. It was really very dramatic when he came out as as just an improv guy. So again, Nissan, I mentioned, is launching the 2013 Pathfinder. So they partner with Second City to create an improv-tastic road trip. And what they did was they brought in the entire production crew and wouldn't it be nice to have a production crew and an orchestra? And yes, so they brought all that in, and they had these comedians improv on themes and suggestions that the viewers who were watching this at the time it was being done would suggest. And so as a result, they have this series of about 12, I guess, because they did it for 12 hours, and it took about 15 minutes to shoot for each one. Is about how much time they were allowed to actually create and have games to make up the content, and then produce an actual music video. And as the results were really interesting. I'll let you judge. I like the rap and the country one. Here's, you can take a quick look at this.
What's up? This is 8 to the 3.
Yo, and I'm Big Red.
We're about to set it off because you know we never go flat.
Driving through the street in our Pathfinder, looking for a shorty to pull up behind her. We're going to Vegas where it never rains. And 8 to the 3 as Ron's gold chain.
Oh no, I'm about to get busy. Rapping for a girl and her name is Lindsay. Don't cut me off because I got some more. I'm flying in the jungle, let it go, boy.
Flat tires, yo. We dissed them. We got a tire pressure monitoring system. Flat tires, yo. We dissed them. We got a tire pressure monitoring system.
I like the taste, I like it on my lips. I like the salty taste of those potato chips. Rolling it back because I got no care. What happens in Vegas, yo? It stays there.
Big Red, he is sexy and sleek. When I'm on my skateboard, your knees get weak. Big Red and 8 to 3, we're on fire. And one thing we hate is a big flat tire. Flat tires, yo. We dissed them. We got a tire pressure monitoring system. Flat tires, yo. We dissed them. We got a tire pressure monitoring system.
Oh, check yourself. Because this tire pressure monitoring system checks itself.
So, yes, and a very effective series it was. So, yes, it's on YouTube, and you can check this out at the Improvtastic roadtrip.com at part of the 2013 launch. So, let's see. Are any of you familiar with Improv Everywhere? In this group in New York, have been doing for a number of years. Of course, their most famous, which is the No Pants Subway Ride. And every year they gather about more than 10 years now, and they actually have a subway ride throughout New York City, and people wear various pants. And there's a video here. You're welcome to I'll put this online. You'll be able to go and check and see it out. But they also do a number of other. These are just major events where people come, like flash mobs. This is the Black Tie Beach. Yes, so it's Atlantic City. Everybody dressed in black tie formal wear, charging into the beach at the same time. Delightful. And they do a number of other things. And this is one I thought very creative, exceptional for like many of you are doing events or things. So this was called Rob Wants to Give You a High Five. And so here's Rob. It's a great piece of improv. Engage the audience and really sort of have a dramatic effect if you're in an event. The progenitor of all of this, so where did all of this stuff come from? In the 1930s, there was the WPA, which was a government-funded project as part of the Reconstruction after the Depression was, and invested in arts. And so a woman named Viola Spolin and her partner, MiiA set up training to train kids in the inner city, and they discovered something very interesting, which I hope it's here. I wanted to share with you. This professor explained it a little better than I can.
This is the godmother of modern improvisation, Viola Spolin. Which way is south? That way? 55 blocks south of here is where modern improvisation began. In the 1930s, with this woman and her partner, Neva Boyd. They started children's theater workshops down by Hyde Park on the south side. And it was Viola Spolin who recognized that something remarkable was happening in the playing of games. She saw how these kids who could not get along on the street, who could not communicate, who could not connect with one another, who could not find the means to see the worth of one another as individuals, would all of a sudden get it together around the playing of games.
Games. And so kids who cannot get together on the outside, who cannot find a way to relate, can find a way not only to relate to each other, but learn a craft of theater through the playing of games. Anybody else know groups of people who can't get along together? Have you ever sat in a group? Creative, yes, working out the content for a website perhaps, or yes. And so there are perhaps, yes, can't get along. And so there are, in fact, ways of breaking through that. There are, and some of you know about the creative whack pack and the idea of utilizing sort of the back and forth game. But gaming itself can be the key to breaking through your inhibitions. It can be the key to finding new, for your brand new directions. And there are a couple of key rules. So here's, those of you who are coming to take notes, this would be the notes part. There are some rules in coaching that Viola Spolin started and used, and her and her son Paul Sills, who did the teaching over the years, honed. And some of them make a lot of sense. If you work in a group or you work in a team, this would work for creative as well as for just regular old meetings, I think. Say yes and, which means don't say no, don't judge, but say yes and in response to something. And then add some new information to that. So constantly evolve. It's part of the creative process. Don't block. Don't stop somebody from doing what they attempt to do. In an improvisational situation, you want the scene to continue. You want to avoid questions if at all possible. Questions stop. These get people into their heads, and in the creative process, if you've ever been at a writer's block, a lot of questions come up. That's a focus outward, no eyes or egos in this process. When you take that out of the creative development process, you get a much better product. I think here's a key: make your partner look good. The key to any improvisation, and as you see these folks trying to work with each other rather than against each other. If you can get that in your creative group or in your writing, it's exceptional. In college, when we were trying to work on our partnering skills and our support skills, we would practice playing ping pong blindfolded. You really have to work together to get those balls to go past each other. Stay in contact with each other, not losing touch, not going off into your own problems, working on one problem, working on the problem, the focus on the point of the meeting or the part of your creative breakthrough. Avoiding making lists, which is human beings love that. We love category. We love a category as much as we love a list. Making lists. Show, don't tell. Right? Instead of telling, make sure that you're showing, which I'm going to do more of instead of telling here, and then let it happen. Not planning or inventing, not forcing. Creativity can't be forced. You cannot engineer viral. It is partly organic, partly engineered, and partly can be released if you adhere to the rules of the game. And so I'm here to tell you there are companies that have done that, who create content, more content than you can imagine on a regular basis. Second City, Groundlings, Comedy Sports, I.O. West, and then Upright Citizens Brigade, fairly newer, Theater Asylum. There's a lot of these around, and if you have an inclination that perhaps you might want to learn, it can help in a lot of different situations. I once sent a sales, we were talking earlier, had a sales guy who was a very good technician, knew a lot about the technology, could share the technology, but really couldn't relate to the people. So he took 6 weeks of improv and became a different person entirely. I think maybe it was a little dangerous, really. So I wanted to introduce you to the Nashville Improv Company, our local, I guess, resource for those of you who are interested in it, and working with, they also do, and I'll let them talk about it. Do you want me to play your trailer for you?
I guess you can. This was, yeah, go for it. This is great. group of actors and comedians banded together to create an improv community. They faced trials and hardships, but they held to their promises to keep an established schedule of shows performing every first and third Saturday, to offer training and auditions in a constant search for the next generation of comedy talent. But most importantly, to put on the best damn show you've ever seen. But then, something unexpected happened. It was you, our audience. Your love and enthusiasm sparked a fire, and now, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, we're changing, transforming, evolving, and now we're ready to introduce you to the next level of comedy in Nashville. The Nashville Improv Company. A name you can remember. A name you can trust. A name that wasn't already copyrighted. One thing that will never change is our promise to you. Keep coming back. We're only getting better from here. And with all we've done in the past, you won't want to miss a single moment of our future. The Nashville
Nashville Improv. Would you like to
Yeah, so
demonstrate for us?
that's what we do. I should say that video was literally us doing improv. We were sitting around a microphone and we were just like, let's just say things that sound cool. And so we did that. We perform every first and third weekend of the month. And we're going to kind of give you an example of how you can take improv. And what we love about it is we live in a world without limits. Whatever we say is valid. So whatever you say is totally valid. And not only is it great, it's wonderful. The only thing you can't do in improv is not add anything. That's like the worst. So when you get your creative teams starting to live in this world where, hey, whatever I say, we can actually make something from it, it opens you up creatively to create something wonderful. So we're going to do this game, and normally we get some audience volunteers up here, but we're short on space. So what it is you guys are all now part of our development team. And we're part of an advertising agency. And we're going to be working on coming up with a new product, and we're going to go from there. The only rule with this is whatever anybody says, whoever says and answers the question first, that is the answer. We're going to take it and run with it. And by the time this is all over with, you'll be amazed. So to start this out, so all right, so we're here at work. We're working on our concept, and what I need is a shape. I need any sort of shape at all. Polygram. All right, yeah, it's good, right? Yeah, everybody really agree because polygrams are awesome. All right, so what is this polygram going to be made out of, though? I need cardboard. Cardboard polygrams. This is wonderful. Like it's lightweight. Throw it in the air and check it out. All right, and. Who do we think we're going to sell these polygrams to? These cardboard polygrams? Grandmothers. Yes. I love my grandmother. She buys me stuff all the time. All right. So we got some cardboard polygrams.
Grandma.
They're like how big are they? The grandma.
4 feet wide.
They are exactly 4 feet wide. Because you know what? And a yard is just not enough. I want 4 feet. That's wonderful. All right, so we got our cardboard polygram. We got 4 feet wide. We're selling them to Grandma. Yes. How much will Grandma pay for this? $1,000. She will pay $1,000. Yes. I like $1,000. All right. Okay. And what are we gonna call these cardboard polygrams? It has to have like a cool name. Steve. The cardboard polygram. It's so great. All right, so we got Steve the cardboard polygram, 4 feet wide, $1,000. It needs like a jingle, like a catchphrase, like a neat, clever thing. About 1 sentence long.
Steve the polygrandma.
Steve the polygrandma. That's awesome. She's always wanted. All right, so we got Steve the polygrandma. Guys, I'm dealing this out now. I want to make a commercial about this, though, but I need a location for Steve the polygrandma to be at. He is in Palm Springs because that is Grandma Central. I'm awesome. That's hot. Okay. All right. And I need like a celebrity spokesman. Who do we think we can get?
Betty White.
I have Betty White. Yes. All right. So we got Betty White's in Palm Springs, and Steve the Polly Grandma like walks in. What does Betty White say when she sees Steve?
I need Steve.
I need Steve! All right, this is the lover that the grandma's never had. All right, we got this. We were almost there. And we also need, like, all right, so we got Steve the Polly Grandma, catchphrase, everything.
Need Steve.
I want to see this commercial.
Okay.
I need somebody to play Betty White. I need a Betty White. Who wants to be my Betty White here? I mean, I have these two actors, but if anybody wants to be Betty White,
I have a big crush on Betty White this morning.
Betty White right here. Yes, all right, we got it. Yes, all right, we got Betty White. I need somebody who is, of course, I think you look like a Steve type guy.
Sure,
All right, so you're Steve the Polly Grandma, and you are Betty White's kind of rival thing. All right, so we got this. So Betty White's gonna walk in, and she's gonna see Steve the Polly Grandma. Steve's gonna say, "I've always wanted to be Betty White," and then Steve, of course, is gonna say, "Steve the Polly Grandma." That's like a catchphrase. All right, are we ready? Yeah. You gonna do this? Okay, and action.
Betty,
Palm
please
Springs.
fit into my 4-foot wide box.
Betty, no. I don't. No. Why? Well, I know it's attractive. It's a big square-ish Polly
Many
Grandma.
sides. There are many sides.
It must be true love.
Four sides.
4 sides.
My age, that's enough.
That's right. Today we are selling you Steve the Polly Grandma, only $1,000. Call right now, 1-800-STEVE-POLLY, iHeartYou.com. Copyright, you all. This is a neat game we play in our shows. It's called Commercial Break. So we are going to create for you a commercial on the spot for any product in the world, and it will have a jingle. So can you get any name brand product like Charmin or Kleenex or
Vaseline.
Vaseline?
All that chest.
I've got some jelly.
Oh,
You took that from the bedside.
Yeah. How there?
Thank you.
Now get on your teeth.
it has uses that are not obscene, 'cause we love Vaseline. Okay. So that's what we do, and when you get to, we do offer regular classes and training. Our next round of classes start on Tuesday, November 6th, and we have level 1 through level 3. We've had people come and take it that are business guys. We had a very similar story guy show. He's like, I have to do a presentation for work, and I'd never spoken in front of people. I'm like, okay, welcome to our world. Just get up and say whatever you want. And by the end of it, he did his presentation and got a promotion because of it. We were like, yes! So we do that. We perform every first and third Saturday, and we love sharing this art form. It's a super fun way to go out, get to see a world be created in front of you that's inspired by you. Like, we couldn't do this without the audience. We'd like do it at home, but it'd be boring, you know. But it's kind of awkward. It's really awkward, you know. But you guys give us suggestions that we never heard of before, like the Steve the Polly Grandma. I mean, yeah. So thank you so much. We are the Nashville Improv Company. We would love to see you guys. We have cards, and talk to us about what we do. We would love to bring this up. We perform at 1008 Charlotte Avenue. It's a 90-seat venue. We have a full stage, A sound, AV system, and we're very into constantly innovating and stuff. Our next show is going to be on November 3rd, and it's our Halloween Good versus Evil Spectacular. It's more of a comedy sports style show. We're at points and teams, and we're competing. And then the third weekend of the month of November, we're doing our night in the theater. We're doing a completely improvised Shakespearean play. Yes, and we are doing a completely improvised Broadway musical, which is really exciting. And we are also doing that night a bunch of, it's like we're going to be creating a community theater play by using games and stuff. So we get to see long form games and improvised Shakespeare, which is just as ridiculous as you think it is, but it's super fun. So thank you so much, Bayard, for having us.
Thank you very much.
Support live arts in Nashville, please. Support live arts. If you want, the Bible is Improvisation for the Theater. It's by Viola Spolin and written a number of years ago. It's probably on its 300th edition now. An exceptional piece and great for spurring creativity. I hope you enjoyed the show. Was there any questions?
Could I suggest another book as well?
Yes,
There's
another
a great book. It's very small. It's called Truth in Comedy. That is wonderful also book for improv as well. It takes hers and it's a unique companion piece to it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Questions,
Yes.
anyone?
Let us know.
No questions? That's an excellent presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.